That was the intent. We had a little fun dividing the coaches up and then eliminating players we didn't think needed to play, and then took whatever remainder one offense we had versus whatever remainder one defense, so they were on opposite teams, same with the twos. Then made a quick call this morning after our staff meeting for a guest or celebrity coaches with Chad and Curtis Brown. And so, yeah, and it came down, we had 3 plays left, and there was a sack on this third to last play. Otherwise we would have been overtime. So, yeah, it was fun. And good to have guys cheering for each other a little bit, and it basically a fairly clean conclusion to really what camp is going to be. A couple cleanup days tomorrow and the next day, and really Washington State starts Monday. And no injuries today, which is, man, kind of keep your fingers crossed, but we held out quite a few players to make sure that didn't happen. So, yeah, overall a good day, I think.
Whose performances really pleased you?
I like the offensive line and the running backs. I thought the run game looked really good, and probably 5 or 6 yards a carry, but also with guys being David Foote's hard to tackle, Paul Lasike's hard to tackle, Adam Hine showed some potential, some good lead blocking, and so yeah, I like that part a lot.
Did any of your backup quarterbacks maybe separate themselves, or
no, I think it's the same as of right now. Yes, I don't think anything emerged differently than maybe what it's been to this point.
Adam Hine showed well. What did you think of his?
I thought he did nice. I thought he did a nice job. He a little bit more breakaway than I think what we've been able to see. A few longer runs than any in fall camp so far. So you could see not only him get to the second level, but then make someone miss and run away. So that was good.
As you look on the defensive line for maybe a 4, 5, and 6, is Remington Peck in that mix?
Yeah, if I were to say today, it's probably Mike Muehlman at 5 and Remington Peck at 6, with Bronson Kafusi closing fast after his mission. If we were to say today. Yeah, so you take out the 4 seniors, and then those are probably 5 and 6 as of today.
What about Theodore
Peck's
King?
Peck's off his mission, right? Peck's off his mission?
Yeah, got off in, somewhere between January and the spring, I think. So yeah, Theodore King has a lot of potential. Just a true freshman, though, so ways to go.
There were a few hiccups where quarterbacks had to call timeout. Is that disappointing or to be expected for scrimmage?
I would say a couple things contributed. The division of the staff, not having the full communication set up, some guys doing different roles than they hadn't done. So probably to be expected by the way we designed it. And it's great to finally, without our scoreboards, we put 25 and 40-second clocks down in the corner. So it's nice to have that with a really good officiating crew from the Big 12. And so all that, I think, helped.
Coach, you mentioned the offensive line. What specifically encourages you?
Well, they're physical in depth. So they're big, they're leaner, they're more physical, and there's more of them. So all that leads to just sustained kind of push.
Did you get Doolin back?
Yeah, I just talked to him today, and so I think they put about a 2-week time frame on it, and so that'll be bumping right up against the first game.
Was that including the week he's kind of been out already, or 2 weeks from now kind of thing?
Basically 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
Could Jamal Williams have played, or is his ankle still?
The ankle wasn't quite right. Jeff and I communicated late last night regarding that specifically, and just wasn't quite ready.
You mentioned you were impressed with the running backs. On the flip side, you said they were hard to tackle. On the flip side, were you displeased with the way your defenders were tackling?
Oh, I think a number of opportunities will be really helpful. We're really trying to find out exactly who in our linebacker group becomes the next group of guys. So this will be really valuable in seeing who actually made plays when the ball got to them and who didn't. And a lot of balls got to them today, which is based on the matchups that probably should have.
We haven't seen a lot of turnovers. Well, we saw one today, but in the 2 scrimmages, is that a concern, or is that kind of without the ones playing?
I think based on perspective, for ball security, it's great. From a defensive perspective, you want a lot more out. But I also think if you look at personnel and the matchups that were involved in both scrimmages, that has something to do with it.
So you're 2 weeks from tonight. Does it feel like, wow, we could really use that time, or I wish it was here sooner? Or?
Right now, I'm fairly. I don't know, comfortable is not the right word. I just say we're on track. 2 more days to clean up just different things scheme-wise, and then our full attention shifts. So, yeah, most of it's been to identify personnel, which I think we have a great handle on. Insertion was done mostly yesterday. So a few, again, cleanups here or there, some roles to discuss still offensively, and then special teams work still remains to get where I'd feel comfortable. But I think in 2 weeks it's reasonable.
Do you like this time where you make this shift from, the camp work toward game prep?
Yeah, I do. It's camp is still fairly long, and so it's nice for the coaches and the players to then move on to something else. And again, we've got 2 more days, but once Monday hits, the coaches will all go back and dive deep into all the plans we already established just to refresh ourselves, and then we start moving forward, which is a whole different phase, but it is moving, which is sometimes in camp you feel like it's just what's the next practice, then there's another one that afternoon, and your sights kind of become a little bit different now.
Can you say Taysom's going to play this season?
I would say it's likely.
Is there any concern if Justin can't kick at all before the opening game?
Sure. Every day that he doesn't kick is to add increasing concern. I'm still not coming off what I'm hopeful for against Washington State. But yeah, each day that there's not kicking, the window is shorter.
Does he have to go through some sort of protocol before he's able to?
A medical protocol. And then,
you want to see him practice for like a week before? Or?
I don't have a certain number of practice days, just if he can kick it through the uprights by a certain number of kicks. I don't have anything scientific at this point other than can he kick and is he accurate.
Can Riley do most to replace the
I think
if
so.
he needed?
I think so. We'll just have to do some more work on identifying exactly where his range is. And so again, we're kind of holding out for the other, but it's not like Riley's just been punting only until then.
What about the progression of Cody Hoffman and what kind of matchup problems he poses this year?
Just size and speed, and with Riley's scramble ability, you have to cover him for a long time. That's hard for anybody.
I don't know if you addressed this, but when to see Ross maybe back in contact drills?
I don't know what the latest is on that. I know we're expecting him back soon, but I don't know the number of days.
The same time last year, you were very high on Iona before his injury. Does he kind of look like he's picked up where he left off?
I think he's been consistent. He was so impressive early in camp. It was hard to be better than that, and so I think he's just been consistent.
Anything else?
All right, thanks.